Hello, so welcome back to Barbed Audio. Today we're joined with a very exciting duo from Brighton. It's Zac Clowes and Jonah Wardle. How you guys doing?
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
My voice cracked there.
Just go for it.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you very much for having us.
That's all right, anytime. Okay, so yeah, today we're just going to get to quickly know these guys and just taking it away, let us know a bit about you guys.
Oh, great question. We make music together and separately. Usually better when we make it together.
Yeah, we make like long form ambient music, experimental stuff. We've been doing it together for like the past year and a half. We were Liverpool-based for about 2 years. We went to music school together and then we relocated to Brighton to study a very pretentious music course. Well, we don't think it's pretentious. We think it's great. Digital music and sound arts. Yeah.
It is pretentious, but we're self-aware of that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So to people who haven't heard your music before, how would you describe it in one word?
I would say cinematic, probably. I think, our goal, our dream job in the future is to be film composers,
Yeah.
I think. So at the moment, we just kind of create work inspired by like some of our favorite directors, whether that be David Fincher, David Cronenberg, or Alexander Jodorowsky. I'm going to mess that name up. But we watch a lot of movies together, and I think our main takeaway from all of those films is the soundtracks, and we're always thinking about how sound works with images. And even though the images aren't there in the music, there's such a strong connection. And yeah.
I was trying to think about it because I was re-listening to the album today, trying to think of like one word, and I was like, thick. You know what I mean? Like I was just kind of like.
I feel like I know what you mean. I feel like it's kind of thick in like a wall of sound, in not like a bad way, but like there's so many so much going on that is like thick, but like it all works.
Maybe dense. Maybe that's what I mean.
Textural.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
No, that's a good word. That's a good word. But, you know,
my northern brain was like, thick. This music's thick, bro.
but yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, listen to your guys' album, which is very cool. Everyone must check it out. It's very, very sick. Definitely a lot of cinematic elements in there. I was like, I could hear this in a film. So from when you guys started to now, has your sound evolved over time, and have there been any changes to it, like moving to Brighton, for example?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we met in college, what was that, like 4 or 5 years ago now? And we were big into like punk and playing like in a more traditional band setting.
Yeah.
And then we both just kind of became friends and started like scoring some short films, and then came to Brighton and just delved more into like electronic music as a whole. And then with this album, it was like we had done a few different film scores together, and we were like, we don't have any work, which is an album of just our own stuff.
No, that was bang on.
Yeah, but I guess it's evolved a lot over time.
Yeah,
Definitely sounds like it has.
Yeah, we were really interested in the band aesthetic for quite a while. We went to Lipper Sixth Form College, which is the Paul McCartney Music School, together, and at that college, like, you're there to learn how to be a performer. You're taught like all these different performance techniques, how to work with a band and write songs and stuff. And we were really sucked into that world up until the final year when I saw Jonah had started making some more like experimental DIY, like electronic, like rhythm-centered music, and I just started making ambient music as well. And I heard his stuff and went, "Oh wow, this is really good. We should definitely collaborate." Because I mean, the wavelength at our college was very much you're there, and then the goal after is to try and get a record label and be a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And I'd realised in the final few months that probably wasn't going to be my calling.
Yeah.
And so meeting Jonah and seeing that there was somebody else who shared that interest was really encouraging. And then I found this course and went, we both need to go here. We both need to go to Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put this course as like my last final option, and then he was like, no, pick that one, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I looked into it and was like, okay, good move that I put that on, I guess.
And the alumni on our course right now, the Digital Music and Sound Arts, is incredible. Have you guys seen Midsummer? Yeah, so the guy who wrote the music for Midsummer did our course.
Oh,
which was,
no way.
I mean, that was one of my favourite film scores for a very long time. And yeah, finding out that he'd been there and just all the other alumni as well, it's such an incredible course. And they teach you I mean, even though we did just call it pretentious, but they've taught us the ins and outs of sound design, of like electronic music production, and yeah, it's been great. And yeah, and that the courses just encouraged us to keep making this making music in this project. Yeah.
So you guys recently released, or like very recently when this is being recorded, your album Trust Falls. How has that been so far? I mean, it's just released. What was the kind of story behind that?
Well, it's like I said before, we had done some short films together, but had never been like, we could only ever send people portfolio work like separately.
Yeah.
So we were like, more than anything else, let's have a collection of music, which is Zac Clowes and Jonah Wardle, is both of us. And then I'd say like the album started off thinking like we'll have half of it kind of beautiful, more like happy music, and then half kind of more melancholic and maybe like angrier.
And now none of it's happy.
No, I was gonna say you can tell, I guess the track order's different, but we started with Mothers was the first track we made, which is like the only happy one.
I noticed that.
You can kind of hear like at least my mental health slowly declining. So I guess the album was like the opposite of escapism. It wasn't like, it was kind of like sitting in those emotions and trying to make music surrounding that, I guess.
Yeah, like locked in the basementism or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it started in first year when we both realised that we really liked writing music together, and yeah, we had that concept of let's try and write a record that has like a more like peaceful quality to it, then that element's combated by some pretty negative, forceful like synths and tones. But then we both just had like some crushingly awful mental health moments over the summer of last year, and then I think at that point I feel like those moments kind of encouraged us to stop trying to like falsify like an emotional journey and just paint it for what it was. I think.
And I mean, the album, at least for me, was all about like sitting in these spaces. I guess a lot of it's sort of, there's a central motif which repeats throughout a track for quite a long time, with a lot of stuff changing around that, and I think that like encouraged me or like a listener to kind of sit with their emotions in this trance as it kind of like ebb and flows up and down and like think about the past or whatever, you know.
So off the back of that one, what is your guys' favourite song off the project? And then we'll play a quick snip of it in a minute.
I think mine is probably Crossing Over. It's like possible. I think it's the shortest track on the album, but I think it connects to what we were talking about in the sense that it starts off in this quite peaceful place. Then there's this really quick deterioration of any of the peacefulness. Like if that track was a painting, actually no, what am I saying there? No, that track feels exactly how I felt in the moment when I wrote it, and it was the most honest depiction of where my mental health was at that point, which is why every time I hear it, it connects really deeply, and it kind of puts me in a place where I was just navigating a lot of emotions, and I'm just basically bigging up my own track here.
I'm gonna say The Swarm. Because that track, we like swapped roles for the first time, where like I was actually playing an instrument for once. And I originally wrote that for like my own solo thing and was like, oh, this is terrible, and then showed Zac and he was like, oh no, there's something here, and he took it away and came back with like the main foundation of that. And that was like a beautiful example of our collaboration. It's like I was like, this sucks, and he was like, no, there's something there. And so I love that track.
During your music career so far, have you had any funny or strange moments you can tell us about?
So there's this ambient artist that me and Jonah really like, who's definitely a really big inspiration on the album, called Tim Hecker. And he was doing a show in London while we were in first year. And we smoked quite a lot of weed in first year, and our conversation before the gig was like, oh yeah, let's just go get really high in the centre of London and then go watch this guy perform live. Jonah rolled quite a few joints, and we went into the centre of London, and then Jonah opened his bag and there were 6 joints in there, and I went, well, we're not going to be able to take these into the concert, so we should probably smoke them all now and then go into the concert. and and we smoked them all. It got to the point where we were on the fourth joint and neither of us wanted it, so we put it back. So we put it under a bin and went and stood in the queue, and then we both went, we might as well just go finish it, and we left and we walked back again and picked it up and smoked the rest. But yeah, it was one of the only moments where me and Jonah were like, no, you take the joint. But anyway, yeah, we got in, and it was in a venue called Fabric, which is like a really industrial techno club, and you have to go down like a huge flight of stairs, and everything's red and neon.
Oh god.
And I was fine. To be fair, I can't hold myself together. You were like losing your mind, and then we got down into the main venue area, and they were playing this really like skitty, really weird like drum and bass music that was completely out of time, and it was really throwing you off. And then on top of that, they started blasting fog into the room, and you couldn't see a thing in front of you.
I want to add context to this as well, where like it's like a weird like basement that you go into, and then like, yeah, they're playing this crazy music, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, not okay. And then this woman starts talking to Zac about like AI, this like random woman, and Zac goes, I don't know, ask him, and points at me when he knew I wasn't having a good time already. So I'm there like, my god, yeah, AI, yeah, like please don't talk to me. And then but then at the end of it, this music like finally stopped, and he came on and played this like beautiful ambient set.
And you ascended.
And yeah, it was worth it. It was like all of the terrible stuff that happened before was so worth it, because by the end I was like, this is beautiful, this is incredible. Yeah. But I have now quit smoking weed.
I don't blame you.
And yeah, I mean, Tim Heck is a huge influence on our music, and I think that gig just solidified our love of him, because there were so many moments where we should have left, but we didn't. We stayed and we powered through, and it was great. It was good. Yeah.
So with you guys currently being based in Brighton, what's one of your favourite acts each coming either out the scene or just the UK in general?
So we have a friend on our course, a friend called Joe Davin, who releases music slightly similar to us actually in the ambient space under the name Pampered Fists. And yeah, Joe's a genius and does not market his music half as much as he should, because it's so good. And yeah, every time that I'm seeing him, he's always got something really great up his sleeve. But yeah, everybody go listen to Pampered Fists.
It's hard not to just like shout out your mates, but when your mates like, I'd say like God's Choir. Alex's stuff is really great. Both of her singles I've been listening to. So yeah, God's Choir on Spotify. Okay. Check that out.
Cool, check them out. What was the last song each of you guys listened to, and what does it mean to you?
What did I listen to on the way here?
Oh, I have mine.
You go first.
So I'm on a major Nick Cave binge at the moment. I saw him live a week and a half ago at the O2. I managed to get right to the front. He was like possibly my favourite live gig I've ever been to. The dude's like pushing 70 and has more energy than any 20-year-old on stage I've ever seen. And yeah, just his new album, the track's called Song of the Lake. It's great, yeah.
Mine was, I just got off a long day of work, so was listening to just my favourite songs ever playlist. And it's Sugar and Spice, I Found a Girl by Luther Vandross, which is like, I think the happiest song ever. Like, you can't be sad listening to that. And the whole song, like, it makes you feel like you're smoking cigars, drinking a martini, like on a date with Diana Ross, and you're like, and I was on the bus jamming to that. So yeah.
If you guys had an unlimited budget, what kind of merch would you create that represents either each individually or just as a collective?
My only idea was like, you know, in like middle class houses, they have like family photos where like, I have them at my house where you go to like a studio and have a white background and like it's really like cheesy pictures. I'd want to sell like a little frame picture of us being like,
it's like really saturated.
Yeah, really saturated, like purposely a bit shit, but like make it like proper. Yeah, I think that'd just be funny. That was my only thing. Yeah.
Maybe pillows. I think people are probably going to be napping for most of our album. I think.
That's right. Pillows is short and sweet. Yeah, short and sweet. That was good. So just a quick one before we get right back into the video. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe and turn on notifications to be a part of Barbed Audio's ever-growing community. Anyway, back to it. So you're breaking off on the music now. What is a conspiracy theory either both of you believe in or want to believe in?
It's just a conspiracy theory I'm interested in. So you know Stanley Kubrick, the director?
Yes.
Yeah, supposedly, I mean, there's just a lot of speculation online and on blogs that he got murdered after finishing his final film, Eyes Wide Shut, which, if you haven't seen the film, it's got Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in it, and it's kind of like an exploration of like these really scary elitist parties happening all around New York. And yeah, he went into a producer screening room with loads of producers and all the cast and crew, and he showed the film to all the big studio heads, and then he died 2 days later of a heart attack, supposedly. But yeah, supposedly he wasn't showing any signs of any like failing health or anything during that time, and a lot of people think that it was just because he took it upon himself to expose some of the really dodgy stuff that was going on behind the scenes, which now, of course, we do know that there's a lot of really nasty stuff going on behind closed doors in Hollywood, and yeah. But no, I don't necessarily believe it, but it makes watching the film even more disturbing, I think. Yeah.
On a less serious note, I fell down a rabbit hole the other day about that like dragons did used to be real. That like
No, I know what you mean. I've seen that before.
But where like, because all these different cultures like China, Wales, Egypt, like West Africa, all have depictions of these like flying lizards. Yeah. And then I don't believe, maybe I do, I don't know. And then someone said like, if like animals of that size could fly, they'd have to have hollow bones like birds, which don't fossilize. So there's like, but I don't believe in it, but I think I want to. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's an unconventional fear or phobia both of you have?
I don't know if there's a name for it, but I don't like small print on things like like on labels or something. Yeah, no, because it just really stresses me out, because I'll read through it just to make sure. I mean, if it's like food that's going off or something, I'll read through it a bunch of times being like, oh, I need to make sure it's got all of this. And I'm also vegetarian as well, so I always need to double check all the stuff that's in like Haribo sweets and stuff that I'm eating. And I just get so concerned that I haven't read it right because all the letters are so small. Yeah, that's it.
I guess I'm really claustrophobic, and that's because I used to share a room with my brother who was way bigger than me, and he used to, like, when I was under the covers, he'd put his arms like fully over me and like lock me in so the covers were really tight, and then like not let me out, which he found hilarious, which in fairness, thinking back, is funny to do to your younger brother, but I think that has some like scarring effects.
If you could erase one thing from existence that you hate, what would it be and why?
People making mullets and mustaches their whole personality.
The cost of living crisis. I mean, it's true. It's true. Yeah. It affects us all. It does. It does. We want to stay in Brighton. We're not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that was a good one, man.
What's your guys' most favourite thing you own?
I recently came into possession. So my granddad passed away about 2 years ago, and I only recently just came into possession of his accordion that he had for most of his life, that he played just at loads of festivals and little performances around the little village that he lived in. And yeah, I absolutely love it. It's broken at the moment, but it's such an artifact. It looks like it's seen so much. And cool. Yeah, part of me doesn't even really want to go and get it fixed, because it's just it's a cool object. It is.
I guess for me, most of mine's like jewelry and stuff that's like sentimental. Like my grandpa got me a watch for my 18th, like he gets all of his grandchildren, and my mum got me a ring, and then like jewelry I've got on holiday and stuff is all like the stuff I like.
Just rolls in like a Rolex.
No, it's not that much, but all of them are like personalized. Like mine's got a music note on, my brother's is like sporty still, like it's it's that kind of thing.
What's your guys' go-to meal deal?
Oh, I'm actually passionate about this. I've like lost friendships over meal deals. I think if you get the pasta, you're kind of a freak. That's my personal opinion. I think that's crazy. Yeah. I'm getting either a chicken and bacon sandwich or a chicken wrap if I'm feeling, feeling something special. Yeah. Chili sensation crisps, and then like probably a Diet Coke. Standard.
I quite like the pasta. I think that's very mental. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I worked in co-op for like like a year and a half, and their vegetarian options were absolutely shite. All the sandwiches were terrible. So like the no, literally, yeah. Carl Whitehall, if you're listening. But no, yeah, all the sandwiches are terrible, and there was this really good just mozzarella pasta thing that I really enjoyed. And then crisps wise, I'd probably go for some barbecue hula hoops. I like those.
I actually did respect that.
They're good. I mean, because I only really get meal deals when I'm working. I don't have a job at the moment, so I'm not getting meal deals. But when I was working, I'd always get a monster every time, just something to sit behind the till.
I know a guy who, because you can get a protein shake instead of a sandwich.
Yeah.
And he got a protein shake, a Red Bull, and then he got Fridge Raiders or something.
That's criminal.
I think that's the worst thing I've ever.
That's not right.
This dude's dating my sister, and I was like, I need to have a chat with you, bro.
That's crazy.
That. Yeah, nuts. It's all liquid.
Man likes his liquid. Maybe it might be
But you know,
when you bottled liquid refrigerators. So off the back of that, food related, what is the weirdest food combination both of you have had?
oh, see, I don't know. I'll eat pickles from the jar. It's not a combination, but I'll
just in the corner, just
genuinely. I've woken up and been late for work and been oh, I've only got time to just grind a couple pickles, go my way.
That's revolting, man. No, I mean I don't really have any weird food combination. I just eat a lot of bread, as we discussed.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of it.
Your diet is bread and then snacks. That's all I see him eat.
It's do you know that meme of the guy who's I'll have a rice cake and some fish?
Fish and rice cake. It's a good time, yeah.
Just bread and some bread. If your guys' life was a movie, who would play you and what genre would it be, or what would the film be about?
Adam Sandler,
Kevin James, is that what you're going with? Yeah, well, this just goes to the lookalikes. I get told I look like Asa Butterfield, the sex education guy I used to get a lot. Mac DeMarco, he's not an actor, but I get told that a lot. And then James Acaster I get all the time.
I feel like Mac DeMarco one's the most
apt. I don't see any of the others.
I feel no, they definitely the Mac DeMarco, but that's it.
Yeah, you could be a young Meryl Streep.
Yeah, no, that works. Does. I honestly have no idea. I was kind of hoping that you'd stick with the Adam Sandler. Adam
Sandler, Kevin James is the best.
Yeah, one. I just get told I look like
McGee.
Yeah, no, I just get told I look like a combination of McGee and Julian Casablancas, literally just because of their hair. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, but no, I think the grown-ups cast could perfectly tell the story of Zac Jonah music.
A Happy Madison production.
Yeah, a Happy Madison production. Yeah, Adam Sandler could be involved. It'd be
Yeah, you'd be played by David Spade or something.
Yeah, there you go.
What genres would they be?
Comedy, right? A duo trying to make a career in ambient music. That's set up to fail. That's brilliant. Yeah.
So sadly coming to the final question now. It's been lovely having you guys on, but the camera's your friend. Plug as much as you want and just go for it.
Oh, I guess stream Trust Falls or buy it on Bandcamp is actually better.
Yeah.
Bandcamp Friday. It's the day where all the money goes directly to the artist. Yeah. So.
Support local artists. Very important. Very important.
I also make music under the name Machine Hire. Is my solo stuff, which is more beat driven-y stuff, and I DJ around Brighton sometimes.
Yeah, no, follow our Instagram.
I was say let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, so our Instagram's just Zac Jonah.
Cool.
Pretty
Zac_Jonah.
Zac_Jonah.
Yep.
And obviously we have the album out, but we have some film because we scored quite a few short films together, and we should hopefully have some stuff, some music from those coming out pretty soon. So yeah, stay tuned. There you go.
Okay, cool. Well, check out all those links below. And it's been, again, lovely having you guys on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I've been John T. This has been Barbed Audio. And until next time, see you guys soon. Bye.
Done. Thank you so much. That's all right. So much fun. Good time.
Nice. Sweet. Nailed it.